Okay, in this movie I'm going to put a spider on top of a ring. So here's the ring, and I'm going to go over to place background bitmap, and I'm going to go over here, and it's now what I did is I went over to Turbo Squid and found a nice model, or a picture of one rather, and here it is. And this one was only $30, which isn't bad. Probably be $30 well spent, but we'll see how fast we can make it. That's sometimes the point isn't to buy one, obviously, it's to make one. So here we go. This one's just an exercise in what they call primitive shapes. And we can do this, boy, so many different ways. Maybe I'll show some different techniques for different parts of the spider. How about that? So, the abdomen, and I always do this with this tool. I always make it too big because it's only the radius and not the diameter. But anyway, so here's the abdomen. I'm gonna do that part, and let's work on a different layer here. And I don't know how much out around this really is. It seems kind of flattened on this end, and maybe a little higher up here. So a natural thing to mess with this is cage edit right here. So we'll go cage edit, bounding box, hit enter. Point count is 4. And the degree is 3. That's fine for now. And so what we can do is, like I say, I want this side a little squished like this, so I'm holding down shift for ortho so it squishes it like that. And then I wanted this side up a little bit, and maybe this side down a little bit. Same with these two. We'll squish this down a little bit. Alright, and so we can sit and mess with this, you know, any way we want. Maybe I'll take and squish that whole thing like so. And so I'm just making his abdomen, however, you know, all things considered, that seems pretty good so far. Now, I hit escape and the control points went away from the cage. You can come right back over here and turn on control points, and let's flatten the bottom of this a little bit. So I'm region selecting the whole thing, and there I hit escape again, and there's the abdomen so far. Now I would normally save these cage edits in case you want to go back, but I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to nuke it for the video because I don't want a bunch of stuff hanging out as far as that goes. Okay, so next I'm going to make, what is this, the thorax, I'm thinking. And so all sorts of ways to make this. If you wanted a very particular shape, I mean, this is a cage edit thing again. I mean, we could draw another sphere, start cage editing, and away we go. But let's do something a little different in case you wanted to really draw something specific. We'll go over like this, and this kind of comes out and then goes in a little quicker, and it kind of tapers down like so. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. That's kind of just an arc, but you know, actually, in looking at this one kind of comes back like that. Let's do that. You know, so it kind of comes around and starts heading this way. Alright, so now let's mirror this to the other side like so. There we go. And then in the side view viewport, and as a matter of fact, or not, through finger, we'll do this. and I'm going to line up his body part there, and then I'm going to draw a line up this way, just so I have something to stop at. Alright, so in other words, now I'm going to draw the way I want this to look this way, and it's going to come up here and then start to head back down. And let's turn on near, and no, let's not, because that's on a different plane. Let's do that. There we go. And let's mess with this. Alright, so there's that one. And then his body is just kind of an arc like that down there. So we'll pick this and go trim. Apparently apparent intersections equals now. Okay, this doesn't come up very often. Trim. Apparent intersections equals no. That's why when I click on this line, nothing happens. But if I say yes, then these apparently intersect, when in fact, in reality, they don't intersect. Alright, so we'll go enter and be done with that. And these lines actually need to go way back here, like so. And I'm not too awful worried, because this is a spider, not not anything monumental as far as the lining up goes. Okay, so now there's a tool I don't use much at all, but it's right here. It's called cross-section profiles. So we'll click that, and we'll pick in order 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just went clockwise, and enter. And then we draw a cross-section across here, and across here. And you can do as many as you want, or that you need. And so what that's doing is it's putting a cross-section in here. Okay, so let's turn off our abdomen for a moment, and there's what's going on. So we'll go ahead and select everybody and do a trim, and trim these off just because we can. There we go. Enter. Alright, there's that setup. That is a classic curve network. So we'll go over here and here and here and click curve network and select all these curves, and there's the surface that we're looking for right there. So there is the body. Now the cool thing about curve network is we can turn on control points. So there's a control point, there's a line, turn on control points, and oh, step 4. My bad. I gotta turn on Rhino history. Let's do that. Rhino history's on. Now we do this. And oops, hey. Let's do this again. Enter. Yep. And then we can turn on this curve and this curve, control points, and we get the ability to grab these and move them, and that'll all keep up history wise. So I flatten that out. Alright, and let's turn on that one and this one right there, control points, and so I don't want this to be as as high up as it was. There we go. Alright. So there's that part of his body. And right here we'll patch this surface, patch the edge of that surface, enter, and here's the preview where it's flat, and then if we adjust tangency it'll go tangent to this surface. So we hit that and now it comes out and goes back, so it matches the tangency of this surface here. Alright, rock on. This part just needs capped now, solid cap. Let's do this, join, and then cap, and that'll put a cap on the back of that. Might as well close that up. Okay, now we got some fangs and some, I believe these are the pedipalps. Maybe, I'm not up on my, I am an arachnid fan, but more the scorpion nature. Alright, so let's do some fangs. So we're going to come out here like so. Oh yeah, that is menacing. And we'll come out and around. How does that feel? Let's see. I would say those should be bigger, especially because it's jewelry. So we'll scale those out. And we'll move those back like so. And let's turn this off and we'll do a circle. And we'll do circle, and then we'll go up here to 2 point so that we can draw 1, 2. So that instead of going center out, that goes from 1 point to the second point. And then we come back, surface sweep 2, 1, 2, go there, sweep that down, and that's there. And we'll cap that. Alright. And we rotate a little bit and stick that into the head. Yes. And maybe we'll rotate that down a little bit, like so. Mirror. I want to 1D scale this thing. There we go. Alright. And here we go. Now here's this. So here's ellipse again. And now there we go. And then we can, depending on how this goes, we could, I'm going to go ahead and 3D scale this. There we go. And I'm going to 1D scale this way. Looks like this should be wider, so 1D scale on this angle. Let's turn this off. 1D scale. Oh, I had history on, so it did the other one. Check me out. Didn't even mean to do that. There we go. That's a little better like that. Rah. This seems a little big now. So alright, and what's this doing? So they're going out and then kind of down at an angle. So we'll rotate this a bit. There we go. Alright, then we'll take this one, hold down Alt and make a copy, and 3D scale this down a bit. History broke something there, I'm not worried about it. Alright, so there's that, and this one will go down a little bit, and then on the last one we'll go Alt again, and we'll 3D scale this one. Yep, it's breaking that each time because it's a child of the one above it. So it's throwing me up that warning that I'm breaking the history. But I don't want it to follow the other one anyway. Alright. So there's that part of it. And I think this one will move over this way a little bit more, and then this one will come back this way, and then this one this way a little. There we go. So you, and you get mirrored from midpoint. There we go. Alright, so now we've got some legs to make, and obviously we're going to make these as symmetrical as possible. You know, which they did. Now this one's doing kind of its business here, and it's going over this way and then up and down, and I think we're going to rely on Cage Edit for some of that. So alright, so let's go ahead and do, I really like this leg, the way it kind of goes up and is hooded and comes back and so on. And it all depends on, you know, how big this is going to be, how much detail we're going to have, and so on. But, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and make another one of these. There we go. And so let's do this. Alright, and I'm going to put this on gray and lock it. There we go. So now it won't get selected. And Cage Edit once again. Cage Edit right there. Bounding box. And enter. Let's just go with the defaults for now again. And I'm going to select these and pull it towards the front so it does that. And then we'll go over here and I'm going to pull this out this way like so, and then pull these back this way. There we go. So that's doing kind of that shape. And then let's see what else we got. So it actually gets thinner this way. What I want to do is take these and go out 1D scale from the center of this out, and these alright, there we go. And the back I want thicker. So, and then I want these to go up and this to go down. There we go. That's probably enough messing around. And it flips up a little bit. Well, let's turn these on. It looks like it gets thinner here. So let's go up this way and this way. There we go. And let's go blend, or not blend, bend right there, bend, and we'll have this bend up a little. Alright, so there's my first section of this leg, and so I'm going to put it over here and then over here, and then rotate over here. Okay, and we'll rotate this up a little bit like so. That looks like that should be a little bigger, so I'm gonna scale it out this way a little. There we go. And looks like that should be going up a little bit more. So let's do that in this viewport. Now, in working on this fine spider, we need to be thinking about how this is going to be produced, as far as, is it going to be milled, or is it going to be what I would call grown, where we do SLA or depositing or whatever. So depending on how this is going to be made, we need to wrap it all up and have it be if we're going to mill it, we can just plop it down on top of there, and the mill's going to come in and get where it can get, and after that, that's it. If we're going to grow it, then we have to support it, and we have to think about what air spaces there are in between the spider and the ring, and so on. And so, since I don't know, and we sell mills, I would mill it. And if you don't have your own mill, you know, you might, I'm going to say don't show these history warnings anymore. You might seek someone out with a mill. Some of your fellow Matrix users will have a Revo out there. Alright, so once again, we're just looking here. Almost feel like I should send this dude some money just for using his picture. Alright, so there's that. Then we need another part here. And So there's, oh, that's not a cage edit. Let's go up here. That needs to be longer. So these are how the legs are going to be made, and I don't know that I'm going to build all of them in the movie here. There we go. And let's go down here. So there's that section. Now we need another section. And some of these look like they're wider than they are. So like in this viewport over here, we'll go wider like this than it is tall like this. There we go. So let's make this one wider a bit. That's a bit much. Alright. And now we need another section that again is kind of wider. So let's take this one, steal it. And that one looks like it's, I'm going to skew it. So I'm going to go click on skew and go here to here and like skew this thing like that. And I'm also going to rotate 3D. So I'm going to go from this end down to this end, and then there's my handle, and I'm going to turn this thing out like that. There we go. And this one is going to go out like so. And then we have one more piece of the puzzle here. This needs to turn. That one needs to 3D rotate as well. Here to here. That one's going to be skinnier. These are harder than they look. There we go. Not quite that much. And the last one is the skinniest. And we'll make it smaller a little bit. And a little more narrow. And there. And I want it to go out this way. A bit like that. And more like this. There we go, and out like that. Cool. Ooh, I'm scared. And let's mirror this to the other side. There we go. There he is. There's one set of legs for him right there. Okay, so let's finish this up here, and I'm gonna come over here, and let's go ahead and mirror, or not mirror, sorry. Let's make a copy of this one. So I want this. No, actually, I do want to mirror it. I want to mirror it from right about here, like so. And we'll move it over here. And this front leg is a bit different. So I don't know quite how far. I don't want to take this too awful far, because once you get this far, these legs are all kind of the same, or at least the same technique as what I've been doing. So what I would do is just kind of change these up a little bit based on what's going on. So I would take like this part, and I would 1D scale this thing out like so, and change it up a bit. This section here, and it'll go out this way. Maybe even more. And it's just so that this is a little different. We'll unselect this and then rotate this down. There we go. And the last leg, if you look at it, it's got more stuff. And again, we could certainly. Okay, so let's do this last bit, and if you want something very particular, then I guess I would draw it, and that's kind of what we've been doing. So if we go out like this a little bit, and then kind of come up and do this bend, and then down a little. He's got this neat little bump here, and then we'll come over here and go like so. And depending on, I did the curve network on the one, but for this one I might consider doing the circle with the 2-point and doing that from here to here, and then from here to here. Oops, 2-point, like so, and sweep 2, surface sweep 2. Okay, and then we'll add slash here to fix this up. Go across here, across here, across here. So that fixes all our ISO curves there. Okie doke. F9 is my flip surface. So that's a bit small, but there's that. So let's 3D scale this. There we go. And we can still cage edit this. This viewport keeps going back to rotate mode. There we go. And this kind of curves in over here. So let's come on over here and we'll cage edit this bad boy. Oops. There we go, bounding box. I want more on the X. More on the X, not less. So let's do that. Let's go cage edit, bounding box, world. On the X, we'll do 7. Alright, so now I have more points here. So we'll grab this and go rotate from here to here and bend. There we go. And that'll work. We'll delete this and get this going in over here. That seems a bit big now. Alright, and there we go. So we got that nice leading leg up there. Let's turn this off and get this. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll steal this for the rest of it. Kind of like that. And like that. And, yeah. As a matter of fact, this one needs to go. And, we'll rotate this. I'm going to rotate this real quick. Hit pause here. Okay, so there's what we have, and right click and set this to plan again. That's just driving me insane. Alright, so here comes this part, and we'll get this on. I'm going to get this on the same layer, and then I'm going to mirror it from the center line, mid. There we go. Alright, so now it's looking more like a spider, I guess. Give or take here and there. And now it is time to get it up on the ring. And we can do that all sorts of ways. We could just put it up there. But as a matter of fact, maybe at this point I'll put it in a job bag, actually. Okay, probably the one way, let's turn off curves, select all curves, we'll just hide them, and let's go to transform, and let's do plop, or splop rather, right here, splop, click, center of a reference sphere, let's go right about there, and that comes out, and we just want to incorporate all that. Select the surface to splop on is this surface right there, and the splop drop point, I guess, would be dead center, this quad point, and out he comes. And I don't know how you want it, but I'm going to put it kind of like at that angle. And, oh, of course it does. Oh, I know what's wrong. It did what I told it to do. That's what's wrong. We got to undo. I have to change the relationship of the spider to F4. Now, here's a really quick way to know what the dead bottom part of the spider is. And with the, number one, you could guess. You could go, right there. There's where I want them to hit, and that's probably going to be good enough. If you wanted it perfect, you could go to utilities and bounding box and hit enter, and then there's the very bottom, and as a matter of fact we could see which legs are touching or aren't touching, or we could just change you know, so if we go like this and put this line at the red one, then anything we do now it's definitely going to touch down in there. So anyway, there's how we know for sure. So let's just do that again. We'll splop and center of our arachnid there, give or take, and splop.
So anyway, you kind of get the picture of how it's
There's mid.
and okay, try it on. Fun try on move. Try on. Right. Make your skin red lips.
There we go.
The fun part is you can still manipulate it while it's out there.
Alright, so by going off the edge, that was kind of fun. Enter. By going off the edge, let's flip that back over. We can get this leg to come over and hit this edge, like so. And then if you don't want this to be quite so high up, just get them all sunk down so his legs are kind of flat and everything is just so. So there's how to make the spider, and there's how to put it on your ring. Alrighty.